activities and introducing people and whatever. And as other people are kind of moving into this space, I'm noticing that there are people who are kind of calling it co-working, but they don't have that element of community building. Can anybody speak to that? And or is that element there at the people who are running companies, you know, Connie or Adam?
Right, so is there a connector person, or to bring in the technology issue, are people using people finder systems that actually make introductions rather than waiting for people to find somebody? Anybody using something like that?
I think this may not be a direct response to what you said, Cindy, but it just sounded like the question was, you know, when you talk about who's running that individual space, and what's the impact of the caliber of that person, or how that person helps facilitate the connections. And what I would say from our network, you know, it's a simple thing, right? It's Class A real estate, chopped up into different types of workspaces for different types of workers. But what's pivotal to the success of our business are the people that are there. It's a small team typically. One person who's a general manager or an operations manager, and then client service representatives that take care of our clients, you know, resolve issues, do some facility stuff, deliver mail, stuff like that. But the impact of the caliber of those people and how they know how to interact with people and having the right standards in place, the right talent in place, is absolutely critical to the success of the business. And I mean, you can measure, we do measure this by our occupancy levels, which is a direct measure of the success of retaining our clientele. But the experience of the people in that center, whether it's a co-working space or any type of experience in a shared type space environment, it's dramatically impacted by the caliber of the people there that are the host or the hostess, and really are facilitating connections or facilitating just the experience of working in that space. Because if somebody goes to any space to work and they have a bad experience, we've talked a lot about this, people will choice. Do you really think they're going to want to go back there?
I would add to that, a workplace as service for the hospitality industry is going to be a huge opportunity. And Marriott is already engaging, Hilton, Hyatt, they're all looking at this as another venue for hospitality services, which equates to workplace as a service. And you know, if it grows according to various, you know, predictions, I think they will be major players, to your very point, to ensure high quality service, a high quality experience when you go to any work center.
So for
we had an earlier conversation as a takeaway of the engineering serendipity presentation at our table, where we talked, and certainly at Cognizant as well, providing space for people to come together is not the same as actually having them come together. And you can either follow the Steve Jobs model, building the restrooms and the people have to come together. But there has to be, whether it's done through donuts or some other reason that brings people together to actually use these spaces. As I've gone around and looked at other companies that have created this kind of space, you know, unfortunately I find them standing empty more often than not. And I think the challenge is, so how do you get people to do that? I mean, we occupy a lot of Regus offices, but I'll bet you most of our people don't know the guy next door. And I think so the challenge there is, within that kind of environment or similar one, how do you get people to introduce themselves and take the time just to find out who they are, nothing else.
So I was actually so interested in the conversation that I missed the fact that I had to wrap up the panel. So you guys were terrific. We now have an hour for a lunch break. You can certainly still go to the exhibitors, fill out your exhibition cards so that you can be in the prize drawing. And I also want to tee up the fact that we're going to ask you to fill out the feedback form at the end of the day, and there is also a prize that will be drawn for people who turn in their feedback form. So you might want to start thinking about filling that out. So go ahead and go on your break. We will start again